cancer to metastasize. And I said, well, we have to deal with that. I just kept on with it. They gave me kind of like 6 months to live. I probably wouldn't
Oh, wow.
live to see the baby born to term because it would be metastasizing,
Right.
all over my body. So I just took that with a grain of salt and said, okay, que sera, sera.
Right.
And it was, I was extremely blessed.
Right.
You can see it.
Because I had no complications during the pregnancy.
Right.
Um, uh, and actually, I lived, of course, after 6 months. And
Right.
the baby was, our daughter was born, and they had said that she would have um, all types of disabilities because of the experimental chemotherapy and all of that. And there was no problem. She had, she was born healthy. And that it was just meant to be.
Right.
So
But your mindset, right?
my mindset was, and you probably know all about it. When they were telling me I wouldn't live 6 months, when they were telling me that if by any chance I would, that, the baby would be, deformed and with
Right.
disabilities, I'm like, well, I'll deal with that when it happens. Kept a positive attitude.
Yeah.
I listened to a lot of classical music because it didn't have words and I could really relax. And I cut off people that were very negative.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah.
just
Like,
snip, you're gone.
yeah.
And one was my cousin who was like a sister to me. But every time she came over, I could see she had me already dead. She had that look, well,
Right.
you're gone.
Right.
So I couldn't have that in my life. So I told her, I said, I can't deal with you right now.
Now, me, when I found out, I was more, and Miss Tosh, I know you remember this time because our boys were like brothers. So my son was one of the last people to find out. I did not want to tell him because I did not know how to tell him because we were really close. And my husband was deployed at the time. So I really was trying to wait for him to come home before I told my son because I didn't know what was going to happen or how he was going to take it or, and I'm trying to be strong, but I just didn't know. And I knew if he was to break down, then it would have been a house of cards for me. I would have just, so at that time it was like, they knew something was going on. My daughter just kept saying, are you okay? Are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Which I didn't even realize I was going to the doctors to appointments back to back to back, like constantly. And she took notice. My son, it wasn't unusual for him to say, you good? You sure, Mom? So I'm just like, why do you keep asking me that? You're asking more than usual. So I was trying to hide. In my mind, when I got the news, I wasn't going to tell my husband because he was in Iraq and I needed him to be safe and focused. So I'm not going to tell him I have no hair and no breasts. However, the month before I found the lump, I was at the plastic surgeon because I was going to surprise my husband with some nice perky boobs. He didn't say, hey, you might want to go to the doctor. We feel a lump or, anything. It was like, oh, no, you don't need implants. What you need is a lift. And a lift costs more than implants. And I was like, well, these saggy boobs are going to have to make him happy. So, that's where my mind was at. Never once. Because you could lose it, right? And then you fast forward to a month later, and I'm just like, I don't feel right. I'm gonna get an early physical because I don't feel right, And I went and got my physical, came home that night, everything was good.